It is quite difficult to balance the syllabus as huge as MBBS with UPSC. Though I was struggling, I was trying to find right balance of preparation between the same. Though I have cleared prelims, but I had missed the mains by a huge margin. Every time I was clearing prelims, but somehow some kind of mistakes I have committed in relation to the mains preparation. Certain kind of pressures start to build up when you are facing continuous failures. When I started my preparation, I was clueless. I was thinking that UPSC is all about prelims. If you ignore optional, as for the matter for UPSC, you cannot just ignore that portion and hope to clear mains or hope to get your desired result. Due to the lack of discipline, I never attempted any kind of time-bound mock test, especially in my first 3 attempts. So it was 6th March noon, and there were rumors that the UPSC final result for 2025 will be going to be out soon. Amidst the celebration of Holi around, I was waiting in my room for the Holi PDF of UPSC to get out as soon as possible. And right at around I think 2 p.m. the result came out. The heart sank in. And without opting for the automatic search option, I was going through the PDF in a manual scroll mode in order to find my name. Time stood still in that time. But finally, I arrived at rank 443, DebJyoti Halder. And finally, it took some time to sink in. 8 years of preparation, 5 attempts, and finally the result was in front of me. The result for which I have waited for a long time. Now let's introduce myself, saying that I am Dr. DebJyoti Halder, having graduated from Arjikar Medical College and Hospital, have achieved a rank of AIR 443 in UPSC CSE 2025. Now let's take a look at my journey, how my journey has been all throughout the years. I was born and I have received my primary education in a village which is situated close to the border area. After that, I have shifted to the English medium school, during which I faced certain kind of difficulties in transitioning from the Bengali medium to the English medium. While in the college years, I was preparing for the UPSC side by side along with my curriculum of MBBS, though it was taking a huge toll because it is quite difficult to balance the syllabus as huge as MBBS with UPSC, but though I was struggling, I was trying to find the right balance of preparation between the same. After that, COVID came in the year 2020 as well as in the year 2021, during which I was given the role of intern as well as COVID CCU medical officer in the COVID ward itself. So naturally the amount of struggle, struggle to find the right balance of preparation increased during that period due to the heavy toll it was taking on my physical and mental side, as well as the need of UPSC preparation, since I was going to attempt my first attempt during the year 2021 itself, right after I have graduated from the college years and was working. During my first attempt, though I have cleared prelims, but I had missed the mains by a huge margin. During that period of time, I thought that due to the duties and due to the huge workloads, I couldn't manage right kind of time. So I gave on my second attempt, third attempt, fourth attempt. Every time I was clearing prelims, but somehow some kind of mistakes I have committed in relation to the mains preparation that was not giving me my desired result or desired fruit for the action. As a result, there was huge emotional cost on my mind. There was anxiety, hopelessness, self-doubt, depression due to the continuous failures I was facing in the mains stage. I was having clouds that whether I could clear the exam ever or not, since the attempts are quite limited and also the age was increasing day by day. The psychological issues started gathering on me. Along with that, there was economic cost as well. Since I had quit working right after my second attempt, so there was an opportunity cost of going off my work as well as there was a economic burden of buying the new kind of resources, then other kind of things that are associated with the same, and there came the family pressure as well. During my last few attempts, it is quite normal in a Bengali family as well as any family in that aspect in India, that certain kind of pressures start to build up when you are facing continuous failures, when you are unable to achieve your desired result. There were pressure from my relatives, there were pressure from my parents that to quit UPSC preparation and to go back to my MBBS journey. I know that many of you here who are viewers right now, they will also be feeling this kind of things once they are into the second attempt, third attempt or fourth attempt. But these are very, very normal, believe me, because in the end I refused to give up. I refused. I kept believing in myself. I kept believing that one day I am going to clear, and one day I will, all my hard work and my smart work that I have done all throughout these years, one day that will bear fruit. So, what are the mistakes that I was committing? Let me summarize. As you know very well that we doctors often give various kind of blood tests, urine tests, X-rays, CT scans in order to diagnose the kind of disease that a patient is having. And at that moment of time when I was facing continuous failures, I treated myself as pertaining to be a patient, and I tried to self-diagnose myself that where my efforts were failing in, where my where the right click is not happening. And the first thing that I noticed during my initial attempts, that I was doing a directionless study. That was, when I started preparation during my college years, I went on reading the NCERTs without having a coherent linkage with the topics for the same. I was just keeping on making the notes for the NCERTs without ever realizing that the same topic appear in class 6 NCERT, again in class 9 NCERT and class 11 NCERT, and it is basically for building up one's concept rather than mugging up every facts that is put on in the NCERTs. The second issues upon analysis via CT scan or MRI, whatever you may call, was that there was inadequate writing practice. When I started my preparation, I was clueless. I was thinking that UPSC is all about prelims, and stages like mains or interview ever exist, that didn't struck my mind, or that didn't even came to my mind. So I was preparing or gearing up all for the prelims without putting on efforts for daily answer writing practice that could enrich, that could improve my mains question paper or mains answer paper. So that was the second mistake that I was doing. The third thing was that which I did was I ignored my optional. As you know that most of the technical optionals, and as for a matter many other optionals as well, contains a huge truckload of syllabus. But since I had the same optional during my graduation days, I had that thought that I have studied, okay, I have studied in my graduation days, kaise bhi karke manage kar lenge. But when I went on to give the paper in the mains environment, I realized my flaws, I realized my fallacy, I realized that I had an inadequate preparation in optional. I realized where I have made the mistake, that if you ignore optional, as for the matter for UPSC, since it carries a huge marks of 250 plus 250 500, so you cannot just ignore that portion and hope to clear mains or hope to get your desired result. The fourth thing that I was doing was lack of structured study. I was just going on reading about the materials that was in front of my desk, that was in my almirah, but without ever looking to the UPSC syllabus and PYQs, both for prelims and for mains, especially for mains, because UPSC mains have a syllabus is quite extensive, and it has also chalked out the points that are essential for the exam itself. But I wasn't looking at them. I was just doing on my studies, going on through the materials without ever analyzing that what are the most important portion that UPSC is going to ask in the exam itself, and that has led to supposedly PhDs in some certain kind of topics and lack of knowledge in something others. In UPSC, you need to have superficial or certain in-depth knowledge about most of the topics without missing out any of them. That was the clarity that I was lacking. The fifth thing that I was missing out was poor discipline. First of all, I wasn't ever a disciplined guy. I didn't have a perfect study table or routine for my preparation. In some days I studied for around 8 to 10 hours, but in the next 5-6 days I didn't even look at the books, and that was creating pressures on my mind that I am not able to study for a long extensive hours, and I was just falling behind the other people who were getting success. Moreover, due to the lack of discipline, I never attempted any kind of time bound mock test, especially in my first 3 attempts, both for GS and for optional, and that was causing huge pain when I was attempting the same paper in the UPSC main exam itself. First of all, there is a need to write very fast. You will get around 3 to 3.5 minutes only for writing one page in the UPSC, but if you do not adequately practice in the home or in the simulated environment itself, it is going to cause a huge pain when you are going to write the paper in the exam like environment or in the exam itself. So, that thing I was missing out, and that was causing certain kind of pressures within me and causing continuous failures. Now, since I was a doctor, it was my duty not only to diagnose my mistake, but also to find cures for the same, both professionally as well as personally. So, since I have diagnosed extensively that what were the things that I was lacking in, I tried to go through the cures that are enshrined in this PDF. So, the first change that I made in my preparation was going from resource first to PYQ and syllabus first preparation. There was no PYQ that was in my study table. I just read on the material that I was mentioning. I just kept on reading the materials without ever referring to the PYQ, without ever trying to decode what are the most important thing and themes which the UPSC examiner is going to ask in the question paper itself. So, I went for a treatment. I went for a treatment of daily morning yoga or exercise, that is looking up at the syllabus. Every topic that I was reading, I tried to went on through the syllabus, that whether I am missing out on any important portions or not. I tried to decode the PYQs, that what kind of themes are recurring in the paper itself. Supposedly the themes there is a topic in GS2 paper comparing Indian constitution. So, every alternate year they ask questions mostly on Indian constitution and US constitution, or Indian constitution and British constitution, or Indian constitution and French constitution. These are the 3 most important topics. Had I not referred to the syllabus or had I not referred to the PYQs, I would have went through multiple countries' constitutions, comparison with Indian constitution, and that would have provided very little result as it had happened. Next, I tried to swallow 8 tablets of PYQ each day at morning with post medication follow up. I went on through the PYQs related to that topic, related to that subject, and same is applicable for the prelims as well, not only mains, as prelims as well. Go through the tablets of the PYQs, either try to write them in a simulated environment of 7 and 11 minutes for the 10 and 15 markers, and also come up with post attempt analysis, that what are the demands of the questions of UPSC and how I am addressing that. That was very essential and became a path breaker. Now, what was the result? I decoded the UPSC pattern and had a coherent preparation by linking the syllabus as well as PYQ to my preparation portion. I filtered out the unnecessary portions and I gave double efforts on the things that was mostly or oftenly repeated in the exam itself, and that led to smart work and smart study, and I think that has played a key role in instrumenting the result that I have achieved. The second change that I made was from procrastinating for answer writing to disciplined writing. The symptom was the thing that आज तो रहने देते हैं, काल देखते हैं, काल देखा जाएगा, काल काल करेंगे, ये काल कभी नहीं आते हैं, ये काल काल ही रह जाते हैं. So we always keep waiting for the tomorrow and the tomorrow never arrives. That is the most problematic thing with tomorrow. So I couldn't even in my first 2-3 attempts I wrote very few answers, and I wrote I kept on procrastinating that I will write it on some other day, I will write it some other day, and on some other day the exam arrived, and when the exam arrived I realized that where I have faltered the most. Now what treatment did I undertake for curing this symptom? I broke down the syllabus into subparts. And then I analyzed, I linked up the UPSC PYQs as well as the mock test questions to those kind of things, and I kept a stopwatch in my study table where I essentially gave 7 minutes for a 10 marker question and 11 minutes for a 15 marker question, and after that I got it evaluated from my mentor or from my co-aspirant, whoever is available, especially from a serious co-aspirant who have written previous mains or have gone through the process. And I also sought multiple persons feedback that where do I need to work upon, whether is it content, whether is it presentation or any other kind of area. And after I got those feedback, I tried to incorporate them in the next answer writing, so that the next mistake, so that the previous mistake doesn't get repeated in the next question answer writing. And moreover, I also went through the model answers that were provided along with the questions, so as not to only to build up my existing knowledge, but also to provide certain kind of value additions and answer enrichment. And what was the result? There was subconscious improvement of answer quality day by day. So in the first day I just wrote the answer. After few days I incorporated facts. After some days of writing, then I tried to incorporate the diagrams that will make the answer beautiful, that will justify my point, and that will also make my answer copy look attractive to the examiner itself. After that I tried to substantiate my arguments with data's facts as cited in various committee reports or various kind of findings like National Family Health Survey. And lastly, I improved the presentation so I worked hard upon both completion of the paper, not compromising the quality as well as quantity, so that not only does it look presentable to the examiner, but also fetches me marks. The third change that I made was shifting from a lack of discipline to maintaining proper routine. The symptom that I had for the disease was that I was putting consistent hours, I was unable to put in consistent hours for the studies, and phones and social medias were causing huge kind of distraction, as most of the aspirants who are watching might feel. They try to put in 8 to 10 hours, but 6 to 7 hours are eaten away by the phone, social media, games and other things. So I tried to incorporate a stopwatch into my preparation journey, so as to, and I also kept daily and weekly targets, so that I can not only put in effective hours into preparation, but they also transform into quality hours. They also fulfill the obligation of meeting the daily and weekly targets at least 70 to 80%, so that I can achieve my desired result. And in my study table, I kept away the phones or kept it in a switch off mode, so that it doesn't cause any further distraction. Yes, phone can be used on a positive notes or on a positive end as well, especially with the rise of various kind of digital contents newspapers and other materials that can be read in the phones or in the tab itself, they should be used on a positive end, and I tried to incorporate that same thing so as to avoid the failures. Lastly, I introspected myself according to the target fulfillment at the end of the day as well as at the end of the week as well as the month, whether I was going through the preparation on a proper perfect track or not. I kept on introspecting myself. What was the result? The result was hard work translated into action. Targets were getting fulfilled. Since I was under continuous pressure that I have put in the targets, I have to do this, I have to do that in a time bound manner without compromising the other thing, without compromising the other subject. As a result, the confidence was building up, and as the confidence was building up, smart work was slowly translated into the success. The fourth change that I made was shifting from a passive reading to active recall. The symptom was that, as many of the viewers who are now viewing this video will feel that they just go on through the pages, just glancing through the highlighted portions, the marked portion, they just read on the things without ever incorporating in the deep or deepest level of subconsciousness or mind. The same mistake was being done by me repeatedly. So, upon revision, I was unable to recall facts, figures in relation with that study portion, both for prelims as well as for mains. Now, what changes did I make? I tried to incorporate X-ray vision into my preparation journey. Once I have completed the subject or once I have completed the topic, I closed the material, I closed the book, and I tried to close my eyes and have a X-ray vision whether I can recall the things that I have studied in a question answer manner or not. I also incorporated another unique method where if I have read any kind of theoretical concepts or any kind of difficult to understand concept pertaining to economics or polity or supposedly optional, I tried to explain in lucid language to other co-aspirants, and I tried to finding out what are the lacunas that was missing within me itself. When you explain something to someone but do not feel that much confident, that reflects that there is under preparation in your preparation strategy as well. And with revisions, the X-ray vision got translated into X-ray and MRI vision. As you know that X-ray and MRI visions are much more advanced kind of investigation compared to the X-rays. So, with the revision, the things were improving and the things were translating into action. What is the result? The result was that I could quickly recall during examination. Since the things got incorporated in my subconscious mind, while I was writing the answer, the facts, figures, data, diagrams all were flowing through the ink in my pen. Since it was incorporated within my brain, I could quickly recall them during the prelims. I could quickly solve those papers. I could minimize my mistakes since I avoided jumbling of facts and figures due to the process of the active recall, and thus it has also helped me in shaping my success. The fifth change that I undertook was shifting from the stance of ignoring optional to prioritizing them. What is the symptom? I dedicated 80 to 90% time to GS preparation itself without ever giving proper and adequate time for the optional preparation. Since I was kind of feeling confident that I had studied the same thing during my graduation, so I will just write it in the exam paper. However, I failed to realize the fact that this exam is being attempted by brightest of minds across the country, and the brightest of minds will leave no stone unturned to write the best answers. Where I was lacking, where I was trying to just write up average answers and expect to get good marks. Things doesn't come that easily. Only if you put right kind of effort, right kind of hard work, then only the things will translate into action. The same thing was happening for the optional. So, what treatment I undertook? I undertook the treatment of reading optional from day one without any compromise. I tried to do value addition to my existing optional notes from various kind of standard textbooks, and it is applicable for all of you others who are watching this video, who are having supposedly sociology, anthropology, PSIR, geography or any kind of optional. You should do value addition to your existing notes day by day, so that you can gain an edge over the others, so that your answers stand different from the others, so that it can fetch more and more marks. I also took adequate vaccines, that is for the optional preparation, that is I went through the rigorous preparation of and a rigorous journey of taking mock tests or attempting the PYQs for the optional, especially in my last attempt, that is where I have achieved the rank of 443. To go on through the PYQs and attempting the mock test paper on a daily basis, so that I could self-analyze the areas where I was lacking the knowledge and where I need to study in deep. And what was the result? The result was that in my first 4 attempts, I could never finish the paper in time. But in my 5th attempt, not only did I finish the optional paper in time, but also I think finished it around 1 to 2 minutes before the bell rang, and it has also helped me increase the marks by 35 plus vis-a-vis my 4th attempt. In my 5th attempt, the marks increased by 35 plus, and that was not only as a result of the quantity, but also as a result of the quality that I tried to incorporate over the years of preparation. And I will just end by saying that keep fighting hard, keep trying hard, keep having a dedicated schedule in order to finally culminate into your journey to Lavasana. One day it will happen for sure. Just keep on believing in yourself. Thank you.